Good morning. Welcome to this class of English communication. So, here today in our lecture, we are going to see what is phonetics and pronunciation of module 4. The highlights of the lecture are introduction, why knowing sounds of a language are important. In second part, we will see dimension of speech, syllables, speech and intonation. In the third section, we will see paralinguistic features, and we will summarize in the fourth section. Why knowing sounds of a language are important. Human language is first of all universal. It is used for many different purposes, naming concrete and abstract objects, expressing emotions, creating poetry and many more. The purpose of language is that it enables its users to transmit and receive information. In the process of transmitting and receiving, we often encounter misunderstanding due to poor articulation. It may be at the level of sounds, words or sentences. In all the languages of the world, we find sounds. Every time we use speech, we use a set of sounds of a language. Speech is inextricably linked with language. We cannot speak without language, but language can be used without using speech. Language differs by sound or melody. What does this mean? When learning a foreign language, we notice that the language in question possesses sounds far removed from those in one's own and not even produced in the same manner. Sometimes there are also sounds which sound similar yet sound different. These sounds cannot simply be replaced by sounds one knows from their own language. Such a replacement could change the entire meaning of a word or phrase, or even cause the sentence to become incomprehensible. When we were young, we learned the sounds of our language automatically from our parents and environment. But when we learned a new language, we needed to pay a special attention to the sounds. In most languages, including English, sound is made with two types of letters, that are consonants and vowels. The consonants are similar in many languages, but vowel sounds may be different from language to language. Now, how to be aware of correct pronunciation of target language? Correct articulation can prove to be of great difficulty and may require arduous and repetitive practice. Several different sounds may sound the same to a non-native speaker, at the same time deceptively similar to a sound from their own mother tongue. The differences in sound are the result of different manners of articulation, the way they are produced or pronounced, such as the positioning of the lips, tongue, or a possible closing of the air flow through the nasal cavity. We must be able to pronounce and articulate the sounds of a language we are learning properly. One must be able to identify the differences and how each sounds are positioned in the oral cavity. This needs practice. Conscious articulation will tend to be more slow and will sound less natural. The consonants are similar in many languages, but vowel sounds may be different from language to language. There are many ways to spell the same sound. Look at the examples. The long oo. There are 3 ways to spell the same sound. Long oo as in book, look, long oo as in to, cute, flew, short oo as in cut, flood. This is something very difficult for people from other languages to understand about English, that vowel sounds are made in many different ways. Then why is learning the vowel sounds so important? Vowels are the building blocks of words. By practicing to understand and hear vowels properly, you will also improve spellings, reading, speech, and comprehension. The sounds in a new language are often very difficult to learn, while reading, writing, speaking, and listening try to practice with long and short vowel sounds, and also try to spell them properly. The basic rule of spelling are the foundation of good speech, because the vowels are the key to the basic ability to read and write. So, learners focusing on the sounds of all the letters such as the vowels and consonants of a language, and by practicing those sounds regularly, one can improve a lot. Dimensions of speech. As I have said at the beginning, that an effective presenter needs to be assertive, not aggressive. An audience not only listens to your ideas, it also responds to the way you use your voice. You will also need to deliver it in a lively, flexible, and interesting way, and in the most natural way. By this, I mean that knowing a language and its usage is not limited to sounds, vocabulary, or the grammar of a language. There are dimensions of speech such as syllables, accent, pitch, rhythm, and intonation. Now, let us look into what is a syllable. A syllable is a basic unit of written and spoken language. It is a unit consisting of uninterrupted sounds that can be used to make up make up words. For example, the word hotel has 2 syllables, ho and tel. This will be marked here as in hotel. There are many kinds of syllables in English. Of this, the 2 are popular and frequently being used by all languages. There are 2 types of syllables broadly: closed syllable and open syllable. Closed syllable has one and only one vowel, and it ends in a consonant. For example, in, ask, truck, sock, stretch, 12th, and so on. An open syllable has only one and only one vowel, and that vowel occurs at the end of a syllable. For example, no, she, I, a, and thee. To find the number of syllables in a word, use the following steps. Number 1, count the vowels in the word. Subtract any silent vowel like the silent E at the end of a word, or the second vowel when 2 vowels are together in a syllable. Subtract 1 vowel from every diphthong. Diphthong is a combination of 2 vowels. The number of vowel sounds left is the same as the number of syllables. The number of syllables that you hear when you pronounce a word is the same as the number of vowel sounds heard. For example, the word came has 2 vowels, but the A is silent, leaving 1 vowel sound and 1 syllable. The word outside has 4 vowels, but the A is silent and the ow is a diphthong, which counts as only 1 sound. So, this word has 2 vowel sounds and therefore 2 syllables. The next one is accent. Your accent is the way you pronounce English when you speak it, and of course, everybody therefore has an accent. Your dialect, on the other hand, has to do also with the grammatical forms that you use as well, perhaps as any regional vocabulary that you employ. It is a distinctive way of pronouncing a language, especially one associated with a particular country, area or social class. It is the degree of prominence of a syllable in terms of differential loudness or of pitch or length or of combination of this. It is also referred to as the degree of prominence of a syllable within a word and sometimes of a word within a phrase. The third one is pitch. The pitch of your voice also varies in day-to-day conversation, and it is important to play on this when making a presentation or speaking. For example, your pitch will raise when asking a question. It will lower when you wish to sound severe. For example, play around with the volume, pace and pitch of your voice when practicing your presentation. Then secondly, find different ways of saying the same sentences. Third, explore different ways of adding emphasis to your main points. And fourth, always try to convey enthusiasm and energy through your use of your voice. The fourth point is rhythm. Rhythm generally refers to the timing pattern. There are 2 factors that influence the rhythm of English. One is sentence stress and 2 that is connected speech. Maintaining a rhythm in a speech makes the speech sound natural and fluent. Spoken English words with 2 or more syllables have different stress and length patterns. Some syllables are stressed more than others and some syllables are pronounced longer than others. The same is true of phrases and sentences. Different words in a sentence have longer stress and are pronounced longer, and words are weaker and shorter. The pattern of strong and weak stress and short and long pronunciation gives English its rhythm. It is important for non-native speakers of English to understand that and master the rhythm of English. If the wrong words are stressed in a sentence, or if all words are pronounced with the same length or loudness, the speech will be difficult to understand. Words that have most stress in English are called as content words. Content words are usually the nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs and pronouns. These words are important to express the main meaning of the sentence. So, they are also called as the dictionary entries. Function words are those words that are weaker and shorter. They include auxiliary verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, determiners, and possessive adjectives. These words are less important in expressing the meaning of a sentence. For example, auxiliary verbs like may, do, have, prepositions like under, around, near, conjunctions like but and not, determiners like the, some, each, possessive adjectives that my, your, are, etc. What is an intonation? Intonation is the variation of speech when speaking. It is the music of a language and perhaps the most important element of a good accent. Often we hear someone speaking with a perfect grammar and perfect formation of the sounds of English, but with a little something that gives them away as not being a native speaker. So, intonation is the rise and fall of pitch in our voice, which plays a very crucial role in how we express meaning. Not all rise and falls in speech that occur in the course of an English phrase can be attributed to stress. The same set of segments and word stresses can occur with a number of pitch patterns. Consider the differences between these two sentences A and B, you are going, and in B, you are going. So, the rise and fall of pitch throughout is called intonation contour. English has a number of intonation patterns which adds conventionalized meanings to the utterances like questions, statements, surprise, disbelief, sarcasm, teasing. People have a tendency to think of intonation as being directly linked to the speaker's emotions. In fact, the meaning of intonation contours is as conventionalized as any other aspects of language. Different languages can use different conventions, giving rise to potential of cross-cultural misunderstanding. By learning and adopting an appropriate intonation patterns, learners, you will be able to express your intentions very clearly. Now, the next one is, what are the paralinguistic features of voice? Paralinguistic features are non-verbal cues that help you to give urgency to your voice. Remember, your voice is unique and it is like a trademark. A good voice gives an extra edge to one's delivery. They are the vocal effects we can employ when we speak. The paralinguistic features involving voice are quality, volume, rate of pitch, articulation, pronunciation, and pauses. The first one is, what is quality? Quality is a characteristic that distinguishes one voice from another. Each one of us have unique voice and its quality depends upon its resonating mechanisms. It can be trained for optimum impact. Volume, on the other hand, is the loudness or the softness of the voice. Your voice should project, but at the same time it should not be loud. Pace or rate is the number of words one speaks per minute. It varies from person to person. Therefore, one needs to cultivate one's pace so as to fit in a reasonable time limit. It should be neither too slow nor too fast. Use pauses to create emphasis. A well-placed, varied messages suggest enthusiasm, self-assurance, and awareness of the audience. The lecture, one must familiarize yourself to correct articulation of the target language At the beginning, it can prove to be of very great difficulty, but arduous and repetitive practice one can overcome it. One must be able to pronounce and articulate the sounds of a language we are learning properly, and also one must be able to identify the difference and focus on how each sounds are positioned in the oral cavity. So, learners, this needs regular practice such as listening and speaking. This will eventually sound more natural. Good luck and thank you.